When the game is open and everyone is impacting, I went silently for 5 hours of questions. Only answer all the questions correctly, you can get a few super god talents. Shinyu is a heavy god to block the invasion of the realm, and for the human race to create a poetic love game. 5 years later, the game will be fused in reality. Once the player dies, he will completely disappear in this world. During an adventure, the male protagonist accidentally crossed the track when the game just began. 5 hours later, the system prompts to remember. You are a player who has completed the questionnaire in the global hand. Congratulations on obtaining the Super Divine Machine Soul 1. Iway Gupu's stone fluttering clothes are touching. Congratulations on your talent. The left eye of the Jin God. Super Machine. Assist Mech. Mage's ability to kill real monsters is set to increase salt. Out of the upper line of 1000. Assist skills. Kill a monster in the north to gain blue and permanently increase salt. Up is 10,000. Fan slapped his face very hard and softly. This talent is also too good. It can even grow. In his previous life, Ling Fan was a professional player who was the world champion of the 3 popular games of Chalian. It is known by fans as the French smallpox version of Ontario. However, he was inexplicably involved in the match-fixing turmoil. Not only was he expelled from the Giant department, also read 09 for a few days plus endorsement by Okinso. The name of God stinks in the electric police circle. I can only make a living by calling him for the studio. Yi Shaoshan is his sister's, although he has no student relationship with him. But Ling Fan has always treated Xiao Xuandong's own sister. But just after Ling Fan was expelled from the Giant department, the younger sister was not notified. Only in a hurry is there a first-line upgrade of 800,000 Phantom Saints. Burdened with accumulated debts, they simply cannot afford it. He could only watch his sister leave him. Sitting in front of the computer. Table earns double power. Now that it has been reborn. And we must never let the residual distance happen again. Sound system is tail. The occupation of clearing and increasing the management is reversed. Said from the Zero Complex Furniture Office. Professional Mage. D. Portal Gods. The picture turns and appears in a single place. 3808 The Good Novice. It's been more than 5 hours since the game opened. The Novice Village is still driven by people. What is the main quest to run? Ask the monster spawn points on the outskirts of the Novice Village. KP Goblin and HP 80 kilograms are available. A goblin with a machete appears in the forest. Lin Fan took a cursory glance at his attributes. Attack, 10 HP, 100 HP and 50 blue. Playing staff, the counterhand is a general attack fireball. Battle was quick result. The amount of blue also dropped by 8. This is one of the reasons why mages are a Kajing profession. Blue attacks consume blue. 10 points rely on collection equipment with blue amount recovery attribute. There's also a powerful mag book from Sky. I'm afraid that I've sold hundreds of thousands. Probably, the manager's civilian profession is a little stronger. Usually, the French professional flying god is not to be married. Feudal Sand Black Goblin experience +3. The servo stats of the god servo have been increased from the distance received. Ling Fan couldn't help but be excited to check the face again. Ron added a little difficulty to the eye. It is insignificant to see that there are too many servants. But Ling Fan knows how far away this can be. It means that you have been farming 10,000 level 1 goblins. Rush up the primary day to gain 10,000 hard points. Shooting in 2 is going to reach the day of volunteering. What kind of mage is this? This is not a proper Chinese school fireship army. Standing in a novice village can kill the wild. Zero Fan solved the essence couplet in one go. Winter distance from the initial 10 m electric path experiment. Level has been increased to level 2. Zero Reflection opens the properties panel. Since it is possible to increase the range. For the time being, you can ignore the defensive question. Zero Anti puts the 5 upgraded attribute points on the attack power of the magic number. After returning to the newbie village, received the main line from the village elder Tong. An open ayat. Attachment points can be earned for each upgrade. In the divine domain, the Dharma has 4 major branches before the transfer. Who is a law to attack and defend the prisoners. Sealing magic C is short and heads up is skillful. Unable to control the ability to defend against the foe. Because of the blessings attached to the heavens. The most suitable thing for Zero Reflection is the fire method. Uncle explodes blue, so high survivability underground. The family is called the Glass Big Fat. Number of days needs to be reached before it can be opened. But Zero Fan knows that there is a hidden run that opens the plural number of days in advance. The Noz village is a basket corner. A girl who is called a god. I'm afraid I'm looking for something on the ground. I saw Lit Fan walk by. The rain is away from the flower with the rain on the platform. As soon as I saw my hat. Ding Jihua hides the blood of the absurd chapter of the mission. Machine kill the molds around the novice village.
There will be a chance to get a task.
Inferior to the blood of the subapplied. Ling Fan succeeded to overtask. At this point, the game has been on service for 4 hours. Players who stay in the novice village begin to change. Not just sure on the draw end. Ding Nu got the task of close Yashiwa too. After the 30 of them were killed. Finally, it is the task product of the newspaper. Ling Fan often reads a breath. Submit the flaming quest for the head. It also stretched smoothly to more than 3. Find clothes after you submits task. Module rarely a flash. Originally, the number of talents in the case was suppressed. 3 basic talents appear in the bottom row. Miracle burning. Magical power. However, each of them corresponds to the entry of the fire system method. Ling Fan didn't hesitate. It's a bit silly, put skill point price in column. Change slightly, the attack will wait for 1% of its own blue amount, and the C will last 3. Increases damage up to 10%. For the general law test. This talent is not useless in the early hit. All the upgrade points of the actual law test are garlanded. There are also less than 500. Zhuo Xiao was only 150 wounds. But for Ling Fan, this is a magical talent. 10,000 points of Longliang Bird will bring 1,000 points of Left Beast. 3 seconds is a full 3,000 wounded screams. 03 returns to the Monster Refresh Dictionary and continues to buy a brush tube. In the blink of an eye, another 4 hours passed. A whole 1,000 songs don't die before his magic cannon. 03 opens the Rat Heart practice. Sexual Spirit Multi-God Race Terran. Wolf Toms. Cells attack 25. 150 HP. Blue volume 1100. Shot into a range of 110. Zero March brushed newer power. The 4 talent points of the whole family are on the main reward. Spread 4% blue damage. Stand on the hillside and pick up the Dharma chapter 1 by 1. Fireballs paved with nets. You only need to make a shot on an expensive one, and the boat will be replaced immediately. 3 seconds, Shua burned 132. Only 80 o'clock was written, and the goblins were born on the spot before they could even rush to the hillside. Players who are late in the game stand at the refresh point and look at the network. The goblins that became stronger were written backwards one after another. Some people thought that Ling Fan was opening the tube. Immediately ready to report it to the game official. As a result, this game does not have this option. Because it is impossible for this to happen in a trial game of the heavy gods. Axis. The number of goblins killed by the player introspection, and the second as the enemy reached 1040. Get the shoe goblin open. Judging the chat, you hear the pop-up channel all players collectively tell the truth. Goblins, a righteous monster, can kill more than 1,000. Zoom points in the world channel local tyrants. Said that he had never seen such a boring player as introspection. Ling Fan's eyes lit up as he looked at the title attribute above his head. The 10% drop rate is very practical in the opening of the square chi. The more pulls the monster drops. The probability of the appearance of collection items will also be legendary. Please note. I felt the strong argument from you. In fact, the boss Goblin King will personally ask you for it. If you die in battle or ask for a title, you will look back. Hero Mortis on God. Again, there is a base case reminder and 30 minutes to the time it takes. Gilm has 4 times now. He knows the actual strength of experience. Face Fandom is considering where to find Studio Group. The events in front of him flashed red. Recently, someone tried to issue a mandatory handle outside the game. In the studio, the face is full of light. The leader of the row saw that it had become the face of the castle that made people think. The face is complicated, your brain is being yoga. It's been 8 hours since the opening. I've brushed 1,000 of them. When the studio is for you sheep. Fire fresh manner. The level of anti-isolation is common to everyone. He's here to make name for good. The fat man is brutal and brutal to the original factory of the school. Jian Lin Band still looks like Iran. Become directly anxious, point at him big. You come to Lao Tzu to faint and wait for death. Lao Tzu has to do something so high with you in a month. Lin Fan hadn't yet had the anger of the fat man next to him. As soon as the cars lived, the other party will have to go up on the road with a skill. Lin Fan hurriedly caught him. He came out of the professional arena at the age of 16. The fat man has always been his sticky fan. He can't see idols being left without such a gang. Fando, this does not understand the bullying. Fat man's hair. 3,500 gold earrings. You have to 70% on your feet. The horns of Lin Fan's mouth lifted slightly. Minister resigned for me. Hearing this, the fat man asked. He knew that Lin Fan's sister was still waiting for a change of God. What about Kair's surgery? Don't worry, I've already planned it. I'm going to start a gaming guild. Leave the little ones on it. Hai Dao, you are a professional god of God. The ministers and commissioners' phrase are rich and small. I'll see Brother Juan after that. The doctrine of the heights will be presented. The fat man's face was flushed with anger. Wei Lin Fan felt the arrangement. The ground pie table is fat and doesn't do it. In the midst of everyone's speculation, the studio where the two of them are located. Back to the Jadrendel. Lin Fan looked at the game hiding that fell to the ashes. This is what I want to get back, what I lost. Verse on the game Hidden Power, again game on the display. The Goblin defense ground came, the sheet to count 12-19 points and 3 places. The hat counts for the preparation time and the entire own of the player in the display. Prevent players from missing tasks due to other things. At this time, Lin Fan was fighting at the top of the mountain. Wind frantically called the goblins one by one. His currents hate to eat. The 50 branches in the middle of the ground are easy to eat. It had to be strong at cat report. It is possible to pull up the proficiency of God's left eye. When the song of 200 is rushed, it is not 0. A white skill is lost. Congratulations on getting the magic losing pig supplement. 0 ordinary psychology together. It should be that the song does not open the hall to increase the drop rate and take effect. Eat the fist the ball. Consume about 40 to release 3 fireballs. Deals 120% damage to targets within range of the house. Pull down hum its 5 cents. The group damage effect to grief is okay. Plus hunting and burn Tianfu. The efficiency of brushing out should have a smart flying jade. Just where are 4 sets of 0. The anger of the departure is remembered in the injury repair. The plot songs of the voice criticism run are not 0. Walked up the forest and questioned Linbar. Run of Boss Goblin Emperor. At this time, the health value is 12,000 kilograms and the profit is 240. In be summoned by Wang. Lin Fan Shizhou led it. Are nearby players excited to see the boss appear? A fireman thought about the goblins in the same place. But soon these people are all ward. The Goblin Emperor's account returns. The semi-black Lexabrania totem appears. The Goblin Morning War of the Dense Mother is broken. Begin to roll towards nearby players. Lin Fanyan was wearing a golden light. The boss skill can summon so many Wan Lin warriors. This didn't make him bold. Soon nearby players were killed by the figure. I heard someone inside trying to regroup a defense. However, the general level of players in the novice village is only 3 to 5 groups. Facing more than 3 Wan Ling warriors at the same time. I can't resist it at all. A large number of players began to run towards the newbie village. A large number of Wan Ling warriors were all led to the entrance of the village. As long as the player leaves the safe zone. If you come out, you have to die. The death penalty in God's domain is high. 10% experience in the northern subtransfer. At the same time, it is called to small Dailu to adjust the items. When the brain is hot, the sand kills the player. I have already been accused of punishing next disciple. However, as long as the Wan Ling warrior has always existed, it will not be able to leave the newbie village for a short time. Just when the players don't know how to be a good hand. 3 fires fell from the sky. At the entrance of the village, the mob was suddenly exploded. A large number of Wan Ling warriors were blown away. The spirit warrior of the actual king was burned to the gauge. The well followed. 61 small fireballs fell. Play weak meteor fire shower broke into the crash tube. The Wan Ling warriors who were concentrated were disposed of extremely dead. 0-3 keeps releasing the fireballs of a general attack plus the united hit. The monster who was alone was quickly cleared by him. The level was quickly raised to Martial Sheen. He found that although he had the hatred of Wan Ling's warriors hanging on his body, however, his own setting is obviously beyond the random balance of the mobs. Wan Ling's warriors and Mei Tukang are generally spread around. Boss incompetent in base. Again, Zhao Huangling will not be able to account for him. 0-3 on Hale was already smiling. The super edge is set to play a fixed handle brush tube. It's just a volley run that can move. This is the tennis. 400 wise king spirit warriors fell to the ground. The ordinary whiteboard is installed in 3 sessions at the rate of the newspaper. This bit of equipment is not any appreciation. It's still in the yellow brush of heaven. Emperor Chai Bulin became a working emperor who discriminated against the people. There is no one to play the player's attributes. Ling Fan couldn't remember the first batch of Wan Lin warriors that were summoned. There were only 2 words in his eyes. Unsfarming. In the middle of the divine domain, there is a theory of Kubo monster farming. The original intention of all beings to develop the game. It is to make the player stronger than just the means. It's zero before, and we've seen a more perverted way of farming. For example, Ming and the Dragon Master sat in the castle, drinking red wine and singing. Repent of the nine-headed dragon in one skill dungeon for 4 years. Overnight, the equivalent of a copy of a medium-sized country was blown up. Harvest billions worth of combat power than 5 hours later. A system prompt affects the passage of the region. Players are like a warrior. The number of chicken litter cutting parts is 10,000. It is a heresy. The World Channel has exploded. In less than 20 hours, 10,000 parts were cut and 0 died. This can no longer be described as scattered. With the zero multiplicity and other machines raised to 6 seasons, the response has also risen to the middle of the season. The zero fan opened the surface for a long time. The serious ones are speechless. I thought that the promotion to CMC City and the blue volume online would increase by 100 at most. The result is indeed a whole 5-fold. What is this 5,000 meters? It's not a proper magic cannon. If you can't guide well, you can't see the target clearly. Under normal circumstances, the player limit is also 2,000. Something that is at the edge of the edge will be blurred. Zero fan checks the 10,000 monsters that are sent, and it is said to be effective. Sold the full. Plus 15% screen drop rate 1% and 1% retention rate. Note that the holder of the title is good for him to sell enough into the state envoy in order to be sold out of the area by all workers. Zero fan dead for a while. The new title is only 1% more than the previous one. But he knew the distance between the drop and a drop. The actual effect of one support is very different. The connectivity of 1% is small. At the very least, it will be a piece of equipment above the blue gold cooler. The Goblin Emperor ran the school student and got off the Carcassonne. Lin Fan heard the emotion of not holding red once. Looking at the newspaper master in the eyes of the Yuan division, there was a molded Lewin. It took him a while to adjust how to get fat. His hand is a series of fireballs that can't be shot. The results are not surprising, all in the small side newspaper. Sure enough, the distance was too far to be so easy to live. Lin Fan's eyes were terrified. Tart it looked of jade. When he reached more than 200 meters, he was no longer angry. You can only comment on the feeling to attack the newspaper. Lin Fan quickly adjusted his vision. The fire system of the 6 stars lit up painfully. Warm deep mad machine. 3 large fireballs on the wand are swayed. Gradually releases the aura of aura. This one plays into the flame god. Fireball in the sky of the French battle orchid. In the voice of the novice store many players. The ground smashes into the timing elite boss goblin place. The fireball hit the boss. Added 6 points of flame at the same time. Yet how sounded. The flames spread rapidly over the boss. The boss fights 12,000 HP conditioning level. This clan dealt 1,800 to a burn damage. Seeing the boss being attacked by thousands of players instantly costs money. No team has been able to score more than a dozen pounds in the first day. Once the boss is killed, it will drop a few screen items. Everyone rushed to the Goblin Yellow Land without knowing the price. As the attack hits, the boss discovers the hiding place of Zero Lao Lu for the first time. The goblins rush towards him with their feet open. Completely ignore the players who rush over to give them their heads. At the same time, Jia suffered from a large number of Wang Zero wars. Began to launch a death charge at him. But Zero Fan 4 did not panic. After setting up a few departments, turned back and followed Seedling Master. The next dozen or so fireballs connected in the air and formed a pass. Play a weak meteor shower and smash it into the boss. Even if most of the fireballs are empty. But as long as you can explode and burst into flames. The goal has been achieved. Few minutes later. Blast is on the island of Hazard 200 meters away from the Zero Third Step clan. In order to take effect of the German external adjustment of the law to the mouth detection blind period. The crowd is almost gone. The ground team's equipment exploded on the ground. Among them, there is even a mixer of experiences in the past few years. It's $1,000 without this experience. And it broke out with high-quality gifts. It's all green and blue goodies. This magic account color should not be a hero server. One thing at a time, player's hand speed is extremely fast. Grab your hero's weapon and get ready to run. Whoever turned around and fell to the ground again. A prompt popped up in front of you. The prompt power did not belong. After 30 minutes, if no one loses it, it will be automatically released. A large number of enemy players gather around the ground in front of the equipment and try repeatedly. But no artist can pick up the equipment. This time, Link Fan was relieved from the crowd. Turn off the black cellar side, and weigh it well. 1 UU minus the 2 land managers on ground. But, he can minus it. This scrambled incomers. A bunch of players are stuck in standby. Ling Fan made a move casually, and in fact, this color law account was held by Xiao Ran in his hand. Each Lun Dang has 0 legal accounts. And so on. Professional Mage. Magic Attack Power 70, Effect. Beautiful Bird Recovery 3.0. I actually brought back the familiarity. Even if there are only 3 points, it is too shabby. Ling Fan faintly looks slightly disappointed. Back attribute weapons there before. But it did work for him. If it's a percentage, it's pretty much the same. The heavy man looked at the staff in Ling Fan's hand. Bonus points began to guess his body. The soft wolf seemed to have a look in his eyes. If it is not a novice, the competition will be criticized by a player. He didn't seem to doubt that he would be used by them. Besides, just now, there are 3 pieces of time to stop the house. Ling Fan casually stopped adding pulse. Timing equipment can only be used as over-equipment. In his current situation, he sold it to Huasua. Go back and submit main quest. Set the obstacle to 20 of Herrick. Subsequent discussed. The 4-day equivalent is once again in the game. No email messages are discussed. At 3 o'clock, I took the mailbox to check. The whole person is going to be trouble. View auction records of items. The 3 pieces of Lajuan sold for a total of 30,000 yuan. That and the magic barrier actually sold 200 experienced heavenly generals. Purchase fee, he caught 207 experience. A full 200,000 rings. Before that, why didn't you hold level to work when you were dark for a year? Now that he thought about it, he wanted to raid. Ding Dong sent a message from Sherpu. My friend has other actual heroes in his hands. Ding Fan saw that the other party's level was only 1 level, and he also proposed a face-to-face transaction. Scale of sudden. In the divine domain, people like there are promising initiatives. The scammers will not be held accountable at all for their equipment and experience. Because in the realm of the gods, intelligence and heart are also part of strength. And for my debt, Sure Spectrum seems to realize that the other party suspects him of being a liar. The screenshot of the heroic staff surnamed Jiang Roland was sent no. Ding Fan checked the auction record 1 by 1. The staff was really auctioned by this person. Slightly due to reply. At present, there will be no contact with the goods in hand. It's a hassle to upgrade this game. The pit can take me off. I give money. Hearing this, there is 0 anti-immediate interest. A single push immediately said that pit is 100,000. 15 cent a black man with a question mark emoji. You're treating me like a big head. It takes 12 or 6 hours to complete. More than to achieve, I don't want a penny. 0 and a ran. After saying that, 15 immediately sent a request to form a team. 0 and a case weak. None of the resistance to the band trumpet upgrades will be full of upgrades. But for him now, the upgrade is just a second. Push response to passive effects and earn money. It's king. Then the 2 came to the mystery of the clever monster farming. The 8 poles of the king of Yuming. Unload 700 zeal bases 40. Skill fear connection. The body is dark, and it will not be bleeding by Zhong. The intensity of foreign affairs is stronger than that of the novice village, more than 1. As a result, the players who farm here are almost always walkers. Wang Mingban is surrounded by at least 3. The 7th level mage dared to wear a 1st level trumpet to testify. Let's pay each other's debts. Not far away, a 9th level engineer didn't know how to look at the shadow too. The table player shoots 3 shots. Injury is expensive. No one saw up the vision of liver. 8 shadow kings were pulled over. In the team, the meat ton knight Daho in a few groups in his life. Strange things continue to heal. Others are 2 to maximize the output of the king group. On the contrary, it can be seen that this team is not a personnel person. Or the operation is obviously a group of experienced netizens and old women. And the archers followed suit. Thanks for helping me to gather the tube. Hold high new methods of accounting for the outbreak of Buddhism. 3 shots of even pig fireballs are in the center of the Lang herd account. It's something to live fire. I learned AVG so quickly. But that's not enough. The archer's sword is against a strong ground. You look at him very closely. Monster snatching in the divine domain often occurs. Usually the player who attracts the bead monster's hatred first will have the upper hand. Killing it will give you full experience. But there is one exception. That is, the output ability of the strong foreign side is much stronger than a few. In the next second, the head of the famous king reported a string of terrifying damage numbers. 8 teams of famous kings were instantly killed. Ishia's eyes came out. It jumped directly from 1 to 3 phases. Ishia is serious, and the 2 of them are not playing a game. The more they're the party player, the bigger the eyes and the smaller the eyes. I can't react to what happened. Next, Zero reverse turned into a ruthless ghost farming machine. You see monster, you're in it. It burnt, changed the target. Ong Gendo and others began wanting feet for some. 5 minutes have passed. Haven't gotten the experience of being weird. Boss, you're looking for feet to run. The 4 C's are MD and MD. I'll dress you up 8 discounts. Zero fan minus the silver and equipment on ground. He looked at the master, very extensively. The master waited to fight in the same place, and was completely refreshed. The overlord said you give me and so on. It's true that a few friends are sleeping. I'm from that over. Zero fan also passed through several monster farming points around. I found that they were all being surrounded by the guild squad. Flight area aviation. To the northeast, it is also known as Lang's 3 monster farming spots. Occupy an hour. If there is any disturbance to the amount of the sword, someone in the area immediately reply. The crazy teacher makes Zero reverse roll. There are a total of 6 named king spawn points nearby. The Druid Guild fought 4 alone. A large number of casual players can only be on the last 2 points.